Thank you. Yeah, it's what a great night. Great night for Oklahoma football. I think a night that all I know our team and everybody associated with it's very proud. I know our former players, former coaches, our fans. I know they certainly enjoyed that one. So what a great night. To win. Absolutely one of the most elite bowl games that there's ever been and ever will be in the Goodyear Cotton Bowl, and it's very meaningful to us. With the way the year's gone for everybody, to be able to look at some of the tough things and not see obstacles but see opportunity has been our mindset. And I really commend our players, our staff, because we felt that way the entire year, and really closed so strong. Really fun to be able to win the Big 12 championship here 10 days ago and then come back and play like we did here tonight. It's very special. Because of this year, we'll remember this one forever.
All right, thank you, Coach. Now we will go to questions from the media. Use the raise hand function to indicate if you'd like to ask a question. Our first question will come from Joe Bettner from the Norman Transcript.
We got 34 for Lincoln.
Hey, Lincoln, just with the interceptions to start the game, I'm curious what you just make of the defensive effort for a Florida offense that's been so good all season. Just what do you make of the way that they came out tonight?
Yeah, our guys did a good job. We capitalized on a couple of mistakes that they made. Thought we were able a couple of times maybe to confuse the quarterback in coverage, and he let go a couple of throws that weren't quite as decisive as what we're used to seeing him make. And our guys did a tremendous job with it. And it says a lot about it. I mean, we had the utmost respect for that offense, for Kyle Trask, who's undoubtedly been one of the best quarterbacks in the country this year. And I told him after the game, I know, this is my profession, but also as just a fan of college football, I very much appreciate him for what he did in high school, hanging through it when a lot of other people had left. What he did, playing in this game tonight, even though he's, got a really bright future ahead of him. It's very, very much appreciated, and I hope college football can keep getting people like Kyle Trask involved, and all the respect in the world for him.
Our next question will come from Eric Bailey from the Tulsa World. Eric, go ahead.
Hey, Lincoln, you gave a really passionate speech between the third and fourth quarter. You had a 41-13 lead. What did you tell your team going into that fourth quarter where you scored 4 touchdowns?
Yeah, we came here as we decided we were going to be a team on a mission, and we said we were going to finish no matter what happened. That we wanted to make a statement with the way that we played, and we didn't want that to be just a part-time statement. And so just encouraging our guys and also making sure that our guys remember, one, the quality opponent on the other sideline, and also the fact that you've only got 1 quarter left, 1 quarter left for this team. Some guys 1 quarter left in their careers, and you'll remember that quarter, so let's make sure we remember it the right way.
Our next question will come from Kerry Murdoch from the Sooner Scoop. Kerry, go ahead.
Hey, Lincoln, I'm just curious. You guys have been through so much with COVID this year. I don't know if you had to kind of play mental gymnastics with your team with all the news about opt-outs with Florida, especially on the offensive side. But how did you keep that from, becoming a distraction or something that you couldn't overcome or didn't play well because people were overlooking this team?
No, there was no overlooking. It's Florida, a Heisman Trophy finalist, and a tremendous coaching staff, and a very talented roster. And I was not worried at all about overlooking, and we did not really address that at all. I didn't feel like we need to, honestly. We had a lot of respect for Florida and the team they are. And listen, everybody's had to go through that this year. Whether it's losing players to COVID, dealing with players' decisions on these bowl games. We've all had to deal with it. We've all had to fight our way through, and our recipe has just been we've got to worry about ourselves. And so we got a group of guys that were excited and committed to come in and play in this game, and I think it showed. I think we probably played our most complete game of the season.
Our next question will come from Barry Trammell from the Daily Oklahoman. Barry, go ahead.
Yeah, Lincoln, over 400 yards rushing, big play after big play from all 3 of your guys. Was that something you thought would be successful? Why was it so successful tonight? your running game really carried your passing game.
Oh, it absolutely did. You know, we were a little sloppy in the passing game early. Had a couple things that we missed and a couple that we didn't catch, and just we were a little sloppy there. Now the run really got us going. It was easily the best we've ran the ball all year. I thought our offensive line played outstanding, because that's still a super talented defensive front that we just played against. And so I thought our O-line was outstanding. I thought probably the best game that we've played all year. And I thought our backs was easily the best game that our backs had played this year, other than the Stevenson fumble. We ran through tackles, you know, and those were some tackles at different times this year. We were ending up on the ground, and our guys ran aggressive. I thought the line really made them confident, and all three of those guys had a big plays for us. So it was excited certainly about the way Ramondre played, and then I can't say how proud I am about the way Marcus Major and Seth McGowan stepped up. I mean, that was two exciting young guys that really did a great job.
Our next question will come from Parker Toon. Parker, go ahead.
Yeah, Coach, I want to tack on to what you just mentioned about McGowan. He tied his career high tonight with 73 yards on one carry. So how proud were you of him with what he was able to accomplish in just 4 touches?
It's a pretty good average. Yeah, that might be a Cotton Bowl record, I would imagine, for average yards per carry. I was proud of him. You know, it's been every player's first year is always not easy. And Seth got a lot of playing time for us early when so many of our guys were out. He probably wasn't quite ready for all that we had to do, and he really fought and did a good job. And then he's had a chance to kind of take a step back and get behind the scenes and learn and work, and he's gotten better throughout this. And Marcus Major too. I can't honestly. I was really excited to see Marcus tonight as well, because those guys have been working hard behind the scenes and have really improved. And we were all, I think, pretty excited about that work showing up. Here at the end of the year, and here with a great opportunity. And it's a great lesson for all young guys. You may not get, may not be the star or the feature guy at the beginning. You may have ups and downs, but if you don't let them get to, if you hang in there, if you keep swinging and keep working behind the scenes, then when your opportunity comes, you'll be ready. And they were ready tonight.
Our next question will come from Garen Emig from the Tulsa World. Garen, go ahead.
Lincoln, the idea that strong bowl showings can really catapult and springboard a program into the offseason. I know you want to enjoy tonight, but just what kind of momentum does what happened here provide you guys?
It's obviously good. It's excited about the way we finished. I'm excited about what this team could be next year. We'll definitely we'll enjoy it quickly on the ride home. We got exit meetings with our guys tomorrow, and then we don't see our guys for 25 days. Which is with our schedule here is going to be a little bit different. So we will certainly be excited to get back though. There's just I like where the attitude and just kind of the overall environment within our team, within our program, like where that's at. A ton of young, exciting players that grew and learned so much this year and have a chance to be better for it. But it's going to be a great challenge to us to continue to climb because these last several teams have really set the bar high. But I think we all sense the opportunity ahead of us.
Our next question will come from John Hoover from All Sooners. John, go ahead.
Hey, Lincoln, you mentioned remembering this team forever, this team being remembered forever. What do you think, as your career evolves in coaching, what do you think you're going to remember about this team most, the way, given the totality and the scope of the season?
Just that we didn't let all that's been going on around us, we didn't let it break us, or we didn't let it come between us. And actually we kind of flipped it and actually let it bring us together. And it's hard to explain right now. I mean, it is. It's been a difficult, but at the same time, it's really been a lot of fun too. I mean, it really has. I mean, all anybody wants to talk about is how tough this year's been, and it has been challenging. But at the same time, man, it's been a blast to see these guys come together, to see the staff come together, and not say poor us, and try to find solutions to anything that came our way, and continue to work regardless of what was going on around us. And we've done that, and so I'll remember that. I'll remember how close this team really came together, how close they became during this run, and then certainly being able to close out like we did here the last several weeks makes it all the better.
Our next question will come from Jason Kersey from The Athletic. Jason, go ahead.
Yeah, Lincoln, kind of following up on that, when you talk about how close this team was and all you guys have been through, what was it like being in the middle of that scene down there on the stage when the guys were all rapping? I mean, that just looked like a pretty deep scene to be in the middle of, and you were right there in the middle of it.
Oh, it was the best. Yeah, the old Malcolm Kelly. Yeah, I know just about every word to that as well. So that was pretty cool. Our guys, they deserve that moment, man. It's winning's hard, and it's hard to do it here at the end against great competition, and yeah, they deserve that moment. So those guys happy and enjoying the moment with each other is, there's not a whole lot that makes you feel better than that.
Were you singing with them? Were you rapping with them?
I know quite a bit of it, honestly. I don't know if I could do it a cappella right now, but it's certainly not the first time I've heard it. Let's put it that way.
Our next question will come from Keegan Renault from Sooner Wire. Keegan, go ahead.
Yeah, Lincoln, you kind of touched on all of this so far, but I asked you a question in the middle of the season about moments that this team has kind of been through and come together. Is there any that stick out in your mind now looking back at everything that just turned this whole thing around?
I don't think anything like turned it around. It was just, here's the challenges. Are you going to stick together and be mentally tough enough and care enough about what we're doing to overcome them and believe in yourself? And so I don't think there's been one moment. I mean, there was challenges just to be able to play this season. There were challenges with all that was going on in our country. It's just kind of been one challenge after another, and so I don't think there was the Hollywood moment where all of a sudden it was going bad and all of a sudden it was going great. It was just kind of a constant grind, and you had to get up each day and just go do it again, and you couldn't become tired of it, and you had to just stick to it. And so I'll remember that more than anything, of just the perseverance throughout the entire year.
Our next question will come from James Hale from OU Insider. James, go ahead.
Lincoln, your defense has been growing all year, and you've talked about it a lot, but you're on the biggest stage. You've got a national, primetime game, and your defense tackled well, pursued well, knocked the ball out defensively. The growth of your defense all season, but especially in this game, what does it say to you about what you got on defense?
Oh, I couldn't be more excited about the direction of our program defensively, and I give, our players a ton of credit. I give Coach Grinch, our defensive staff, a ton of credit. They've just done a fabulous job, and it's been, so far, 2 years in, it's been what we hoped it would be. I think we sat here after last season and said, it was a great start, but we will be disappointed if it's not a whole lot better in year two, and it was better. And now we're going to sit here and say, really good 2-year run, made a lot of improvements. Love the way our guys are playing and improving, and we expect it to be a heck of a lot better in year 3.
Our next question will come from Ryan Aber from the Daily Oklahoman. Ryan, go ahead.
Yeah, Lincoln, sort of along those lines, just looking at the defense tonight, outside of the interceptions, what stands out to you about the performance on that side of the ball?
How we played the key downs, we did a good job in the red zone. Obviously had the fourth down stop down there, but had a couple of stops down there in the red zone that were great. I thought we did a good job on third down. And they do a lot of things to challenge you. I mean, they do a great job schematically, and then obviously when they started playing Jones some, and you add in all the different quarterback run game, it's a lot to handle. And so I'm proud of those guys. Proud of some of those young secondary players stepped up. Did a tremendous job. So it was, playing the key downs and being our best in the big moments, and that's what championship level groups do.
Our next question will come from Barry Trammell from the Daily Oklahoman. Barry, go ahead.
We talk a lot about, your improved Hey, Lincoln, we talk a lot about your improved defense and, the old reputation of the Big 12 in Oklahoma that you don't play any defense, and you've sort of put that to the side. But playing the physical kind of ball you did on offense tonight, do you think you changed any perceptions about you're not just, a bunch of Heisman Trophy winning quarterbacks slinging the ball around? You got guys that break tackles. You mentioned that, and went up against an SEC team and sort of popped them in the mouth most of the night. You think you made some inroads nationally on showing people that you're not just an air raid type operation?
You know me, Barry. I don't get too caught up in what people think nationally. I mean, it was a good opponent we went against tonight. We played well. Proud of how physical that we played. We feel like we can, go in there toe-to-toe physically with anybody, anytime, anywhere. And that's just our belief in ourselves. And so we're, I think we're improving in a lot of those areas, both sides of the football. And certainly to do it here on a big stage against a quality opponent is always a great step. And I think it says a lot about the direction of where this is headed.
Our final question for Coach Riley will come from Carrie Murdoch from Sooner Scoop. Carrie, go ahead.
Lincoln, after seeing what Florida went through tonight, I know a lot of people are asking the questions, and I don't know if life has to get back to normal before we talk about this, but is it time to start talking about maybe expanding the playoff if opt-outs become such a big deal for everyone who's not playing in them?
I think that's two separate discussions. I mean, do you expand the playoff? Do you not? I mean, it's so hard to judge it after this year. I mean, that's the shame. I mean, right now we're probably sitting here I'd be surprised if there's, 4 teams in the country better than us right now. But it's been such a very unequal year to gauge it. And I'm not saying we should have been in the playoff. I have said many times I don't know how you do it this year. So I think you're going to have to toss this year out and just make decisions about the playoff long term. I do think it is always very difficult to not include Power 5 conference champions because everybody's road and league and the way they set it up is so different. I think that's always going to be a topic until it, if it is, until it's expanded, if it does, and probably should be. And then as far as opt-outs in the bowl game, again, you got to be careful judging this. I heard Dan say this the other day. I think they've only had one in the last several years. I believe, the one that we had this year was the first one, unless I'm forgetting somebody, is the first one that we've ever had. And so this is a different year. I know this. A lot of our guys were excited and really wanted to play in this ball game, and I think if we're in the same scenario in the future, I feel like it'll be the same way. So I know it's a kind of a roundabout way to answer it, but I do think it's two different subjects. I think there's still a ton about these bowls that are so special and will continue to be special for guys. And then, with the playoff, we'll see what happens.